Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Yeah. Hey guys, we had to start you out with a little Toy Story song, given this special episode. It's so happy, right?
It's so happy.
Friendship, happiness here. We need some. Hey guys, welcome back to your AfterBuzz show for Supergirl. We are on season 1, episode 10, called Childish Things. We missed you last week, so we're so happy to be back here again. I'm one of your hosts, JJ Jurgens, and I'm joined here tonight by...
I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger.
And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Tauri J. TaurijJay.
All right, well, let's just dive right in here. Great episode tonight. Let's first start out by talking about Kat and Lucy. So she has a little job offer for her tonight. What'd you guys think of that?
I mean, not shocking. We knew that she was gonna get into the mix here. And having her work at Catco seems like the most obvious way of having her kind of get into the fold of how Kara and James and all these people all work together.
Yeah. And I like that Kat is essentially taking all these different people under her wing. She, understands how, basically how everything works. She knows how everyone feels, and she's really keeping a pulse on, what's going on in her employees' lives, even though she makes it seem like she doesn't. And I love the point that she made to Lucy that essentially, yes, she moved her life for love, but she's gonna need to be able to move forward in her career still. Love ain't gonna pay the bills, baby.
Yeah, I thought great dynamic between those two, and then we always have good quotes in the episode, and there was one from her too when she says, "A woman with brains who gives up everything for love inevitably finds herself staring into an existential abyss that men, babies, and cardio bars simply cannot fill." I just thought that was funny too, as we all run to our workout class. Stuff that we do to fulfill our lives. But anyway, I just liked another snarky moment from her, but again, she says it like it is, and she knows, I feel like she knows, like you said, what to say to each person that kind of hits their buttons, and kind of when she called out Kara about the fact that what's making it odd for James is the fact that he has this little thing going on with Kara too.
One of my favorite things about the Kat character is that she seems above it all. She acts like she's not part of the office gossip. She has a life that doesn't need to be influenced by all these things going on in the office, and then come to find out she's the most in the know. She sees everything that is happening all over the office, even though she's kind of in her cocooned, super nice office, if you will.
Yeah, that's a good point. Did you think, what do you think about how this was affecting James and the kind of awkward moments that it brought on for those two?
And maybe this is because I'm not a big romance drama person, but that scene with her and James kind of aggravated me, because she was like, I might work here, and he's like, cool, that's cool, do what you want, and she's like, aren't you supposed to be happy for me? And he's like, I'm happy for you, and she's like, I don't need you to be happy for me. I don't get it. Can you guys explain this to me?
Yeah, that's the girl. That's the girl side of things, where it's she's fishing to kind of get a read on him and what she wants him to, to show the excitement that he wants her and thinks it'd be cool for them to spend that time together and be there together. So she was looking for a little more, I think, excitement out of him than she was getting.
Yeah, she wanted it to be a celebration that she got this job, and what we clearly saw with James was it was not a celebration for him. It's causing him to bring this love triangle that's kind of been teased all season to life for him in a very real way at work, which is, I don't think anyone wants. Well, I want it as a viewer, but I think in a real workplace environment, that's probably a terrible idea.
Yeah. And Lucy's smart too, so I think already she can read his, the way he's acting, so I think it's not going to be long before she starts to see the two of them interacting together, and there's going to be a little more trouble with them.
Right.
And I do think that now that we'll get into Winn's kind of storyline, but I think it opens the door for Kara to really take a chance with James. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of felt like it was the opposite in that it like finally shut the door on that, and that now they're going to be working together. Now they're going to be there full time. So she basically sees the line in the sand and knows that there's no way to cross it.
Interesting. Yeah, I just felt like now she's kind of made her feelings about Winn clear. Like, that's not something she's necessarily, at least it seems like at this point, gonna go do. Yeah. So it kind of pushes her towards James, but maybe, as we know, there could be a third person coming into play.
Which I think, yes, I think there is going to be. But I think I kind of agree with both of you. Like, I think that the line was drawn there where she's like, oh, I got to back off a bit because she's, going to be in the office. But I think that'll make the slow build of them eventually. The tension getting to them and them being together at the end. Anything else on the job offer, the situation before we move on?
I'm excited to see that dynamic play out in the next few episodes, what it's like, and how much Lucy realizes what's happening with James. Because I think she kind of has an idea of it at this point, but it'll be interesting to see when she's in the workplace every day, how clear it becomes to her. Because as you said, she's a smart girl. She'll pick up on these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of her, too. I really like her and her character. Yeah. And to digress a little bit, because we were off last week, so did you guys all see the lip sync battle?
Yes, amazing, with her husband, Channing Tatum. And she does a Magic Mike inspired dance, and it is worth YouTubing after you finish our show.
That, yes, if you haven't seen it, you must now, or even pause us, watch it, come back. I shouldn't condone that, but I do in this case, because it was freaking amazing. Like, I could not believe, I knew she was a great dancer and that's how they met and all that, but the way that she just nailed every single one of his moves, and being a big Magic Mike fan, like I just was like, wow, she killed it.
100%. Yeah. And also, she looked, just as a continuing our tangent, amazing at the Golden Globes.
Yes.
So pretty. So definitely something to check out. And there was something else. Oh, and her husband posted a really pretty Instagram photo of her today. Apparently, I just have all the genital on Tatum news. Sorry, guys. But yeah. So that was kind of
good stuff.
Yeah. That was all.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was a very sweet Instagram. You should check it out.
Yeah, they're very fun to watch. They're a cute couple.
Yeah.
Cute. Yeah. All right, now we'll get back to Supergirl. Sorry, guys. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Alex and Max here. So we saw them going on a little date, her trying to get some info.
Yeah.
Kind of dangerous for her.
Kind of dangerous, and I kind of love that she asked, why are you so interested in Supergirl? That she kind of puts it out there, do you like her? I thought that at least she's being, pretty clear on he's not getting information from her. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I like that she used his obvious interest in her to her advantage so that she can distract him from what was actually going on. And I still think that they have a lot of chemistry together. I know that they're never going to end up together because, as everyone in the show has said, Maxwell's a monster.
No.
Dang it. But as I would say, ruthless as he is, he does bring up some good points here and there, in that, unfettered, yep, that's the word I'm looking for. Supergirl could be a threat, just like all the rest of the Kryptonians that we've seen are threats. So, I get where he's coming from, but still, he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, it just stinks that he is, because I agree with you. Their chemistry is amazing, and she looked fantastic, and he's so handsome. You just root for, when he made the comment about not finding out, wondering where her gun was, and she's like, behave, and you won't have to find out. I'm kind of like, oh no, I kind of want him to find out where that gun is. And
he's 100% a character you love to hate.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I want to love you, but it's also kind of fun to hate him too, because he's up to absolutely no good at this point. I think earlier on in the season we talked about that he could be good or bad, and it's very clear now where he is.
Yeah, and so this also brought on another interesting dynamic, because it made Hank go into Lord Tech and start to try to find out what's in room 52, and we see him do something he didn't want to do.
Yeah. I liked this mostly because you got to see like him using his powers, and you don't often get to see Martian Manhunter live action powers. So like him phasing through the wall, cool. Him using his telepathy to wipe minds, cool. All the shape shifting we've seen before, but it's still amazing. And I like that he as a character really struggles with the idea of his identity, in that like, yes, he can't blend in as his normal self, and using his powers makes him stand out more than usual. So like he's trying to find the best way to help people by being human, but at the same time like he has all these people who are superpowered that can be themselves and can live in the world as themselves. And I get that it's super not fair to him. So I like the struggle that he has.
Yeah, me too. I think that makes his character really interesting, and even like him not wanting to, wipe the guy's memory clean. And he made a comment about that he's seen what the Martian can do, and that he creates panic and hysteria. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, what happens if he keeps using this, and what more we'll see where his character could go, kind of darker and more dangerous, unpredictable. So yeah, I like that too. That he's not in his control like Supergirl is,
right,
of what he can do.
Yeah, it's interesting to see kind of how they both handle their powers, because they're very different. Like as you mentioned, controlled versus just kind of lost in a lot of ways. It seems like he doesn't really know how to handle it. And I hope that plays out in the episodes to come.
Yeah.
So we see he gets in and he gets a look at Jane Doe. Yeah. Any more thoughts on her from you guys this week?
Oh, I don't. That was something that I wrote down like question marks next to. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Well, a lot of we put it out to the commenters last week, and a lot of them were saying that it's probably Bizarro Supergirl, which I find to be a really interesting concept. Bizarro being, there's this alternate dimension where everything is it's really odd and the opposite. So anytime you interact with a Bizarro character, they, like, if it was Bizarro Flash, they're super slow and fat. Or like Bizarro Superman, he's as strong as Superman, but he's like super dumb and like inarticulate and things like that. So it was made to be like a really like fun dumb take on the superheroes. But like we've seen it in other iterations. Like my favorite Bizarro story is the one from Superman the Animated Series, in which he was a clone of Superman, thought he was actually Superman until basically his cells started degenerating, and that's what caused him to become Bizarro. So his speech pattern became really erratic. He lost all pigment and things like that. So you see this person who had a semblance of I guess a normal mind, and you see him devolve into like a brainless monster. And I think that is kind of the direction they're going. Me and the fans as well think that that's the direction that this, like, what is it, Code Phoenix is going. So they're essentially trying to put the equivalent of Supergirl's powers into a girl.
We got a little picture up there.
I love, oh man, best Bizarro ever. But yeah, and so essentially they're going to have her fight Supergirl with her equivalent powers using the technology they got from Red Tornado, is the theory.
I can't wait for that. Yeah, I want this to, like, I'm ready. Like, get her going.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things where I'm like, I just need to learn more. Like, what comic books can I read?
Exactly.
Tweet at us, because we'll read some comic books, clearly.
Totally. It's definitely going to get really good and interesting, I think.
Yeah. Superman.
Yeah. All right, well, the major story this whole episode, I mean, big one for Winn and all he's going through when his dad, breaks out of prison. Yeah, what were you guys' thoughts on this storyline for Winn?
This felt like the first time we've kind of gotten layers to Winn. We knew he was kind of lovesick over Kara, and he had this, job at Catco Media, but like you didn't really know much about him, and this felt like we were finally peeling those layers back and kind of seeing why he is maybe the way he is now. And I really, really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was, I love when you kind of get that insight into a character.
Yeah, I'd agree. I felt like this really made his character make sense. Before he was I won't say he was like the whipping boy, but he was the guy that anyone felt like they could walk all over. And this kind of put it into context in that this whole time he's been holding back all of his feelings. Anytime he was angry, he would try to let it go. Anytime that he was sad, he would try to push it away. And then you understand why, and that he doesn't want to be his parents. And like, that's something that we all struggle with, and that like, you know, we see that there's that moment when we all find out our parents are human beings, and then we figure out if their flaws will become our flaws, and we either reject them or accept them, you know? And I feel like that is definitely what Winn was going through, but to a whole nother degree, because what him turning into his father meant him being a murderer, you know? And I love the way that they played it.
I agree. I thought the writing of this whole storyline was fantastic because it's like it kept going, you know, like you kind of thought they kept building on it, you know, and we find out that he's been way since he was 11 years old. So now we see he's that going on, and then just the way he's kind of like using him and manipulating him, and then, you know, I did, when I was watching, I did write down how when the FBI shot at the dad, like, that was so quick. I mean, they were like, put your hands up, and then he didn't, and he's like, Winn, and then they just, like, all open fired, like, so fast on him. He didn't even, like, take a step or anything. That was,
yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, like, it's definitely, obviously, to push the story forward, but I love that they had to kind of justify it because I guess he had killed an FBI agent in their last attempt to get him. Was that what they said? And
I missed that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they were saying when Kara was talking to the FBI, was that that he had injured an FBI agent. I'm not sure, but it was something. So it was like that was why it was so immediate. I think.
Yeah, and he's kind of a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like, but I loved that he was so, like, he made sense. He wasn't, like, twirling his mustache, being like, aha, I'm gonna get revenge. It's like, no, he felt like he was robbed of his time with his son, and the only way that he knows how to be with him is to essentially make him like himself, so that he feels understood and validated, and he can finally be with his son, whether it's they escape together, whether they're in jail together. He feels like Winn is the only one who will understand him, and so he like is so gravitated towards him. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I did too, because it completely justified. Because I thought when he was first setting him up to kill the guy, I thought, well, how's that going to work? Because he's going to be in prison now, and then if he runs away, and then when they explained that he saw they could be either run away together or be in prison together and be a happy family again, it's like it was very well crafted.
Yeah.
I did write down. Had you guys seen that actor before?
No.
I did write his name. I don't know. Sorry if I slaughter this, but it was Henry and then Czerny, Czerny. But I guess he's been in Mission Impossible and Revenge and The A-Team. But yeah, I definitely caught my eye because I thought he just played it very, very well. That character. And then for Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans out there, the FBI agent was Emma Caulfield, who was big on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That I knew.
I didn't know that one, but
see, that was like Buffy fan. But yeah, it's so exciting to see. I love when somebody like pops up like that. You're like, yes, I remember you. It's amazing. Just a side note. Yeah, I just really enjoyed that storyline in terms of also kind of you see, the reasons behind it, like someone you would consider like a murderer and why he was that way, and I appreciate anything like that, I guess.
So he was that way because this guy stole his ideas and then got rich off of it.
So sad.
But but then he didn't fight for it, and instead
it's really a sad situation. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it in reality, just really sad.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what happens when you aren't honest with yourself and don't have the courage enough to kind of like express your feelings and feel your feelings. Like his big issue was that he kind of ran away from his anger until it just exploded, figuratively and literally. Which, I mean, he's a genius. He could have gone to any company, but he chose to stay where he was and keep being used by this employer, which ultimately led to his downfall.
It was interesting to me that Winn, I think, even at one point said like, my dad exploded and I don't want to do the same thing when he's talking to Kara, and you realize in some ways he like emotionally, that's exactly what happened. He emotionally exploded, and he was trying to hold it all in, and like I loved that Winn could see that like that's not what he wants for his life. As you mentioned earlier, you kind of veer away from what your parents are, and in his case such a more extreme version of that.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts of the scene in his factory when he puts Supergirl in the quicksand and the little dolls going out?
Opinion on that?
Yeah.
I felt like it was silly.
Yeah.
To me, it felt like it was put there so you could be like, this guy's the toy man, right, guys? He's the toy man. Like it was very comic booky, very cartoony. Just to have him set these little traps where there's the quicksand, and the quicksand's made of thermite, and he has these little Supergirl dolls. It was very like orchestrated, and I think that like in my mind, I want to say that one of the writers is a big Toy Man fan and was like, I know this episode is super duper like realistic, like we're setting it in harsh reality, but I gotta include this scene, guys.
Right.
I need it.
I think the only thing that bothered me about this one was the actual her in the quicksand, because it's like she's in it and she's struggling so much, and like he says, oh, you can't use her eyes, and then it's like all of a sudden she just quickly blows and then she's out of it.
Yeah.
It was kind of anticlimactic for me. I was like,
well, it's literally a million ways that you can't kill Supergirl. Like that, I feel like every week it's just like, well, she's in quicksand. Nope, that's not gonna kill. Like, so it is a little bit of that. It's become a little bit anticlimactic. I would love to see an arc that she struggles for more than one episode. Like it's not, you don't know week to week whether like how she's gonna survive it. And I feel like we'll get into that as the series continues. But right now it is like by the end of the episode she's survived, like, and so it is that a little bit. But I agree, the quicksand. I did like the Supergirl doll.
I did too. That was pretty cool.
I appreciated that in like a weird whatever way, but it was that I appreciated for sure.
Yeah, I think they should sell those. Like I really like that little cabin. I did, however, a different location that I meant to look up. Sorry, I forgot. But that arcade, however, with all those skee balls. Now I would like to go there.
Well,
that was pretty cool.
Some of the arcade that we saw was, I believe, at the Santa Monica Pier. I'm not sure if they actually, like, definitely when they were out on that pier, that was Santa Monica Pier, and it was like near an ice cream store that's on the Santa Monica Pier. Right. I'm not sure if the actual arcade, they filmed that on a lot, or if that was actually filmed. There is an arcade on the Santa Monica Pier, but I don't know if was actually that arcade.
Interesting.
Little side note.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah.
My eyes just saw skee ball. I loved it.
Skee ball is the best,
right?
By the way. Just a side note. But yeah, so fun. it is the best. It's great.
All right. Anything else on this episode? Let's see. I feel like there was so much, but we've talked about a lot.
I feel like the Winn, we didn't really get into the Winn kiss, did we?
No, yeah, let's talk about that more.
That just made me so sad. That was, I literally wrote down, it was so sad that he kind of went for it and got turned away, and you see that it's going to have a larger, I think, effect on him going forward.
What do you think that's going to be like with them now?
I mean, I think that they should take some time apart, like because I feel like, especially now that he's really doing some soul searching and trying to figure out how he feels about things, I feel like he needs a little bit of time to process without her like trying to be his friend. So I imagine there's going to be times when she's like, but I need Winn, and he's like, I'm not ready. And I think that she should respect that. But also, it being like a serial show, I feel like essentially, I think it'll be like two episodes until they're back in the fold. Like she'll be in danger, he'll be in danger, someone will save someone.
Unless she replaces him with somebody. Like she needs Winn and he's not there for her, and then she replaces him.
That's true. That would be sad for Winn.
Yeah.
That would be really sad. I hope that doesn't happen. It's just a possibility.
I feel like, Ruth, like with you, like they gotta turn it around pretty quickly because they are such good, partners, and they have the whole room down at work where they do these things together, and I feel like.
And she did seem really upset that he wasn't getting along. Like that, like by the end of the episode, she was so upset that she had upset him like that.
Pretty nice that when she gets upset, she can go fly around in the sky, like clear her head. We have to go take a drive or something, but she's just flying around the city.
Nice de-stressor right there.
Yeah. Well, and I guess we should talk about too what happened. So then at the end of the episode, we find out that Maxwell Lord is not quite as a dumb nerd as Alex thinks, that he's got one up on him and now knows their secret.
Yeah.
The camera that he slid in her purse.
I was gonna say, was that the camera from the purse?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he put a little camera on her purse.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I was just making sure because I was like, was there another camera? No, it was just that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was very smart. Though I feel like Alex would notice a camera on her purse. But I'm wondering now, does that mean that he knows that Kara is Supergirl, or just that Alex is sisters with Supergirl?
I think just that I think just that Alex is sisters with Supergirl. I don't think he knows who Supergirl is, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure,
Yeah. Because, like, Kara and Maxwell have met as Kara and Maxwell, right? At that banquet, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that it's a matter of time, if he hasn't already put it together, that he realizes that she is Kat's assistant. Part of me expected his last line to be like, haha, you're Kara.
Yeah.
But...
Well, and I had to rewind too and go back because I couldn't remember, because he was watching when he was watching Hank as him had the security camera footage, but then I didn't know if he actually saw him inside when he changed back in Hank. So I'm like, oh, does he know that he's Hank?
Right.
But we never see him see that. So I think right now he doesn't know that either, right?
Yeah,
he
I
just
don't
knows
think so.
something went in there because all he saw was through the door. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I feel like that was
That it?
I think so.
I feel like it's time to get some predictions.
Me too. Predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm letting you guys go. I'm so terrible at these.
I don't remember what happened in the next on.
I feel like it wasn't a huge amount of information, was it?
No, it wasn't
No.
very. There was
No. Oh, but I do remember a thought I had. So in the next on, we had basically another shapeshifter who attacked a politician, which leads me to believe that it might be a white Martian, which is on Mars, where John comes from. There are two different species or races of Martians. One is more brutal, and the other one are more peace-seeking. And so the white Martians are essentially the most feared on Mars. And so that's usually, historically, John's biggest fear is one being a white Martian and also running into them. And so I think that the next episode we're gonna get a white Martian.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in the romantic area.
Do it.
So I think by Lucy taking this job, it's going to either push Kara closer to James or push her further away, as you said, that line. And I'm not sure. It could go either way. He could realize he doesn't have feelings for Lucy and go to Kara, or it could go the opposite. I'm not sure yet. It's not a great prediction, but it's I just think that by her presence there, it's going to force that situation.
Alrighty. Yeah, I didn't have much. I didn't know all the details, of course, that you knew, but I had a feeling just from what we saw from the trailer that there was going to be another big episode for Hank where he's going to be struggling, doing more and more things that he doesn't necessarily want to be doing, and having that pull between the Martian and himself.
Yeah.
And I do think soon Alex is going to find herself in a little bit of a troubled situation with Max.
Do you think Supergirl's going to have to save her?
I think so, but I think that's going to really put Supergirl in trouble. Somehow Max is going to trap her then, since he's after her.
Yeah. Do you guys think that John will be out by the end of the season? Full Martian?
I'm going to say yes.
Then I'll
End of season.
then I'll say no.
Yeah, there you go. Tell us what you guys think.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us here tonight. We want to thank you again so much for watching and so much for all of your comments and telling friends to watch. We really appreciate it because you're what keeps AfterBuzz going here. So thank you very much. Where can everybody follow you guys at again?
You can follow me at Stephanie Wenger on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can follow me at Tauri J, TaurijJay.
And I'm at JJ Jurgens on Twitter and JurgensJJ on Instagram and at tomgirl.tv. Thanks, guys, so much. We'll see you again next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.